Hey guys, from the journal last night, the goal today was to focus on less stocks and just primarily have my focus on a select few. And today, that was me looking at the SPY to gauge overall market sentiment and looking at AMD and TVIX because I actually had someone on Twitter, I think it was Mox. He was like, "Hey man, it looks like you had a good read on the market overall. Why don't you just trade, some of the volatility um, indexes like TVIX, UVXY, stuff like that?" And I was like, "Okay, that makes a lot of sense because a lot of times I'll have the right read, but there will be relative strength in or weakness in a stock, and it won't quite move with the SPY." So I actually went with that advice today, and I was like, AMD. I got in there a little bit, but I really went heavy in TivX. And the main reason was yesterday we had this like really nice move out of these consolidating areas. Went over that yesterday too. And sometimes what you'll see when you have these types of moves that go straight up without any consolidation is they'll come back straight down or they'll retrace 50% or something like that because there isn't a ton of structure here for it to prevent it from making some of these moves. So we had a little gap this morning. It was, I guess it was technically a gap down, a shove from red green, and then a total failure. I mean, we were straight down most of the morning. I didn't place a single trade until down in this area. Uh, Almost heading into to 11. So it was a lot of sitting, watching, and waiting. I wish I would have got short SPY this morning, but I wanted a bigger gap up for a morning parabolic and short, and I just didn't get that at all. I'll go over this trade real quick. I was just buying washouts and selling pops, and then this right here was when I spotted the SPY really make a turn in the market, or at least what I thought might have been the turn. I got in there and got a nice trade in. I think overall my average I got about 40 cents on this one. And this is the reason why trading TVIX was so great because the SPY rebounded a lot more than this. So I really got paid on TVIX today. But um, SPY was really where the eyeballs were at. And the reason was I like these clues right here. These high volume bars to me are clues because there's a lot of interest in these areas. So if you look at this, this is the low of this candle, and then the high of it. We'll just put that there. And then also, since this candle has no wicks to the upside, sometimes I'll use the bottom of the previous candle because that kind of signals where the volume was like coming in. And you can see that's dead top today. All right. Even pre-market, we got a little shove up to these levels, and that was dead top. And what we did is we came down and almost to the penny, you know, we hit some of those high volume areas, and this candle right here was the key for me. This is a nice little hammer, and at that point, it's not outstanding volume. Like this is outstanding volume. This is outstanding. But it was the highest volume 5 minute candle of the day. And also, if you look back yesterday, the morning high volume candle right here, that was dead bottom. So I had some longer term uh, areas of interest for me. Also, you've got right here, this was previous resistance. Ideally, that turns into support. And so, in this instance, I've got my 5 minute up, but once I see that hammer, then I'm looking at the 1 minute for entries. And this right here, this was a nice high volume candle on the 1 minute, and it signaled perfectly because what we did is we slapped down, came up, made a push, attempted to get back below these levels, and then just ripped. So that to me was a sign that hey, we may be heading back. I was thinking towards VWAP, and that's actually where I took the majority of my position off. But I left a trailer on in case did catch shorts chasing and you make a move like this. So, long story short, this is the TVIX trade. Um, I started in there on that hammer, paid myself, and then once I saw confirmation, um, TVIX doesn't move exactly like SPY, so I was really just trading this while looking at the SPY, and I got some pretty sick covers. I was at the office, I was at home until here, and then I was on the road, got into the office, and just kind of took the rest off. I had to stop, I think, above this level right here, basically a VWAP reclaim. And then that was it. I just didn't want to touch it again. I nailed the morning and, a nice $2.80 on the best covers. So I had some pretty high conviction in that. And those were the only two trades for today. Actually, the only other trade was I was looking for Facebook and I was a little late because I was really focusing on other names. But I was looking for it to roll over with the SPY. And honestly, I didn't even let it stop me out. Um, Once we got under these levels and the SPY was dumping, and this thing just came right back, and it wasn't fading. It was holding these 158.20s. This thing's pretty strong right now. But tomorrow, AMD is always going to be a focus of mine because I feel like I have a good read on it for the most part. And this was some nice consolidation around these levels, support and then resistance. So, I would expect that we will, I don't know if we're going to gap up, gap down, open flat, but this is the range I'll be trading. If we're over and we're consolidating, I'm looking for more upside. If we're under, these levels in through here, we'll see if we can come back to test down in through here. And as far as SPY goes, those levels I marked on the 60-minute, you see how long it took. I mean, it didn't take that long. What are we talking about? 4 days to break out of this channel. And then we had a nice rip. This is the consolidation. This is the expansion. I wouldn't be surprised if we did the same thing. It just kind of bounced around. So I'll be looking to, I guess, channel trade a little bit. Um, Smaller size and just get a feel for that until we make the next leg up or we come back below and build maybe a head and shoulders pattern that we can see out through here. So those are the thoughts. Those were the trades. The goal was completed today. Tomorrow, the focus is if I see an A plus setup, I need to nail it with some uncomfortable size. I feel like I'm about due for that, and it might not be tomorrow, but just this week in general, if I see something that really fits what I do best, I'm going to nail it. And if I take a loss, I take a loss, but that's the goal. So I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Have a good one.